Shit. You think I want this? You think I need this from you? I never wanted this. Throw that whistle in?
So Going Steady compares to my other albums in a way that it's more cohesive. It's more the same narrator the whole time. A lot more like first person and personal songs. Like it's not so much about just like characters or other people. I played a lot more of the instruments and it had a lot more to do with the production. So it feels a little more true to like my musicality. And the instrumentation like opened up a little bit. Like pedal steel is finally there in a big way, which is just something I always wanted. So it starts out literally like at a first date and everything that goes on there, and you know, it's like just 6 verses of no chorus, just a bunch of thoughts, which is kind of how it feels at that time, I think.
As I walk out to meet you with a pocket full of cash, you said you'd be.
Everything's still wide open. It's like a very emotionally exciting time, and it's like the song is kind of like stream of consciousness, because that's just kind of what it feels like at that time. You're not really overthinking anything, but you know, well, I guess I was for sure, but like you just like there's a million thoughts happening at once. Basically.
Right on Grand, and now I'm at the door. This place seems so familiar. Maybe I've been here before. I snag a spot along the wall, shed my coat and hat.
The first song I think was "Don't Come Over," or it might have been the Charmer. The Charmer might have been like from a while ago, and I realized it fit with the rest of the songs. But yeah, I think it was "Don't Come Over," and I think that one was just like kind of a word vomit song. I didn't think that much about it. I was just playing and singing, and eventually I was like, oh, this is like kind of cool. "Don't Come Over," which is second, is like about the phase where it's like you don't know if it's actually going to happen in a relationship in a substantial way, so you're scared of letting somebody in and taking it too seriously, and because you've been let down before and that can happen again, so it's like, don't come over, like save us the trouble of us like failing.
To quit pacing back and forth and canceling my plans. I just can't stand the thought of going back to where I was, but it ain't right.
But then, so once I wrote that, I put it on a whiteboard that I had in my room, and I just kept adding songs to that and removing songs, and like one day I looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, this is actually like a narrative and there's an arc to it. And so like over the course of like 6 months, I just kept adding and subtracting songs, and then eventually I was like, yep, this is a list that I'm happy with. It's time to record it. When I started writing this album, I just started seeing someone, and it was like it felt more real than anything else in my 20s. You know, it's like it felt like it could be substantial. So I was writing a lot of new material that I didn't really have before. It's like something I couldn't really relate to in a lot of ways before. So I started writing more seriously about myself and my own experience. Before I would write love songs, but they would either be fake or like based on something from years ago or something a friend told me. I felt like I had a lot to say because I was really excited, and it was kind of fresh for, like, it was kind of positive in a new way. It wasn't as like forlorn and nostalgic and whatever. It was more just like in the moment, like I'm writing about what's actually happening right now.
I won't dare take it up.
And meanwhile, New York is like, okay, it is more serious, and then the person goes away for a little while, for like a couple weeks.
Back together. This thought that you'll find something better was like a punch to the gut.
And then you really miss them, and you're like, why do I miss this person so much? Like, I'm stronger than this.
Call me up. I'm sorry.
Calm me down.
Calm my ass down.
I'll be up. I'll be around.
And it's just about like how fragile you are at that point, which I think hopefully somebody else can relate to.
I always thought I knew my place and I met you.
I don't want to copy paste this flex. Are you trying to take a video of me?
Of the process. I think before this, I would always set aside time in the morning to write, like for an hour or whatever, and eventually I'd have an idea that I'm like, this could be a song. Let's go with that. And this time, yeah, it was definitely more like, okay, I need to write, or else this stuff is gonna blow up my brain. Ready to Fall is like goes along with that. It just like bleeds into that, which is just like, okay, I wasn't ready to be like this attached. Like I don't want to care this much about somebody. I was like very selfish and like doing my own thing, and now I'm really obsessed with someone else. It's like consuming everything. So that's what that's about. This album is more, it's not really a concept album, but it's kind of a concept album in the sense that it does follow a storyline, and it's the same narrator the whole time, and it's kind of about a real relationship and the stages of that. Every song's supposed to be a different stage of a relationship in a way. And yeah, I mean, I recorded it with Seth at Free Lunch, which I've done before, but this one, we're both a little older now, so I think we both were a little better about getting what we wanted.
Not perfect. Like you. Not perfect like Ben Phelps.
No one is.
Told you should have let me play it.
You did play it. Should be 1, 2, 3, 4. See, it's a little early.
Shakers, tambourines, you've just vetoed everything, every idea I've had. I mean, yeah, but you said that about the shaker too. Oh, maybe robots can play better than you can.
It's a little sparkly.
Let the fucking track play.
Bill, do you want me to turn it off?
Yeah, I do. You know what? Yeah, turn it
No,
off.
I'm not going to. Here's the drop.
This next song is called Masterpiece, and it's about playing to nobody, which I'm doing now. Only this song was inspired by playing to nobody when the world was open, which is a different kind of sadness.
When I finally write that masterpiece.
Masterpiece is not really about a relationship, it's about writing songs, but I still feel like it's the same narrator. It's me, so it is.
On a pretty little lake, have my friends up every summer for however long they want, and needed all the fancy restaurants. When I finally write that masterpiece, 10 weeks at #1.
About writing songs, and like when you're young, it's like a lot of adults especially are like, oh, you just need one hit and then you can be big, go on The Voice, you'll be set for life and all these things. And then the more you grow up, you realize that it's not really like that, especially if you're trying to write your own songs and be honest. Just kind of about that, kind of poking fun at the idea that all you get is a free drink at the bar.
Well, I finally wrote that masterpiece, but no one even knows. I don't have the connections to get on the radio, so I play out every weekend on this busted up guitar. At least I get a free drink at the bar.
I was in senior year of high school, and then I went to an anything but clothes party. A lot of people wear curtains or togas or whatever.
It was getting pretty late, I was getting pretty high, I could barely stay awake, I could barely use my eyes.
And I ate 2 brownies beforehand at Mike Metzger's house that were filled with other stuff.
Yeah.
So I sat down on the couch.
And then for about 3 days, I was out of it.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
So but I didn't actually get arrested, but
How to take a deep breath.
Are there any other details, like things that happened at the party that you like didn't tell your?
yeah.
So so tell the story with like those.
All right. I was in high school, and I was going to this anything but clothes party. There were these brownies on the table, and I ate 2 of them because I was really hungry, but they were really stale and not very good, and they tasted wrong. And it turns out they were weed brownies.
Bobby started shouting from across the other room. Somebody made a fountain with a
Waiting for the girl that we were picking up to come outside when I realized like raindrops were going up, and life, like everything was in slow motion, and it was bad.
room was spinning circles, the clock was standing still, the preps were turning purple, jocks were popping pills.
It's like an older brother of somebody in a toga taking keys, which was pretty responsible, but I didn't know where he was putting the keys. He seemed pretty drunk. I was like, I need food, I think. I need like something else in my system. I'm not gonna drink because then, you know, it'll only get worse. So there's a bowl of gummy bears on the table, and I took a handful of those and I put them in my mouth, and they were vodka-soaked gummy bears. So that was good.
Well, I didn't hear the sirens, I didn't see the lights. When people started hiding, I was sitting tight.
And I just sat down on the couch for what I think was about 3 years. Basically got to my cousin's house, who got in the car and drove the rest of my friends home. And then I was high for 3 days.
So did you find out who made the brownies?
My friend Mike made the brownies.
You have to give it a long name, too.
Down at the piano,
No shit, you're playing one.
in search of something to write. But all I found was the echo of shit I said last night.
Track 7 is Now That You've Seen My Shadow, and that's about like after you. Now it's like a serious relationship. You get in a real fight or a real, point of dissonance with someone, and then you feel really bad about it the next day.
Now that you've seen my shadow, will you still be my light?
And it's just kind of about going through that and realizing that you're dealing with a lot heavier emotions now than you were in the beginning.
And I finally cried for the first time I have known.
Like now that you've seen my shadow, it's like, okay, now that you've seen like everything about me, like, do you still like me? Do you still want to hang around?
Send me out to the gallows, or pull me back to your side. Now that you
track A is the Charmer. That's like the point. And this is where it started to get like kind of fictional and more like, where could this go?
Didn't see any lightning or hear any thunder. Sure makes me wonder which rock I was under.
So this one was about like through the course of my life being an idiot and realizing things after the fact. So it starts out like I didn't realize a storm rolled through until I saw water on the floor. I didn't realize I liked my town until I moved away.
Was until I moved out that I started to like that old town. The smell of the maple, the coffee, and even the clouds. Well, I was so damn excited.
I didn't realize I cared for you poorly until you were gone, and I was like, oh, I could have done all these things better.
I miss my mother. Was until I moved out. I started to like that old town. Where have I been?
Which is a point I don't want to get to, but I think like a lot of people have expressed that they've been at that point. So yeah, the end's kind of just like, oh, like I was really prideful and I acted like I didn't care as much as I did.
So this is my dad's. This is a 1974 Volkswagen Beetle. He's had it, my mom got it for him as a gift actually, when he turned, I don't know, 45 or something.
Darryl Sr. I did it.
So the full story is that I knew I had seen the car. I had wanted to restore an old car for quite a while, and this friend of mine, he owned a garage where he sold trucks. One day I was up there and I saw this. I said, wow, that's cool. I said, whose is that? He said, it's mine. My uncle gave it to me. And I said, do you want to sell it? And he said, I really can't sell it. He said, my uncle would probably be disappointed. He wants me to do something with it. Well, I went home and I was telling Concetta about it and said that I really liked it. I really wish I could get it, and so on and so forth. And so she called my friend and he said he'd sell it for $1,000, and she wouldn't have it. So she said $2,000. And that's how. And that's yeah.
We went to his friend's house who owned the car for dinner, and then my mom brought him in. There was a bow on it. And my dad walked in, he's like, oh yeah, I love this car. I didn't realize the bow was for him or anything. Just kind of stood there. Just kind of, oh yeah, looks nice, looks good. And they're like, well, it's for you. And he's like, no. Yeah, that's the carburetor. That's usually in the front of the car now if it's built after 1980. But
I kind of wanted it as a cover because once I figured out the album was going to be called Going Steady, I thought that was kind of a funny term that nobody uses unless they grew up when this car was built, like unless they're like really old. So so I kind of wanted that, and I also made a point to make this album able to be listened to while you're driving, so I also just thought that might work. And it's just cool and goofy and yeah.
Hey everyone, I've received a few complaints that I didn't play Calexico at the live stream show, so I feel bad now, and I'm going to play it here to hopefully make it up to you.
We're singing happy birthday to the person right behind me. And it makes me think of when you told the server it was mine.
Calexico is like, it's supposed to go right from the term to Calexico. Like, that's supposed to be like a smooth transition of like, now the relationship's over, you're at a restaurant where you used to date a person, and then somebody sings happy birthday away from you, and you remember like a specific event where, you know, your partner told the staff it was your birthday when it wasn't.
Still felt bad, you said they don't give a shit. Then we went for karaoke at the little bar right off your tree, where you put me to
And it was like a funny time, and now it's a really sad memory because they're gone.
Hey everyone, it's me again. I just wanted to let you in on a little secret. Calexico is pretty much just ripping off Happy Birthday for the main parts of it. Like the beginning, where it's just... Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. And then the chorus, or the refrain, the ooh part, because I didn't have any lyrics, that's just, happy birthday dear Darryl, and ooh. So yeah, just steal shit.
So what do you think is the worst song on the new album?
The worst song?
Yeah.
I think you cut it out.
Oh.
There was a song in there that you cut out.
Okay.
So I think you did the right
Places
thing there.
People Drive?
Yeah, I think that's the one, yeah.
All right, yeah, I got rid of that one.
Yeah, I think that was pretty bad.
And then Leaving the Party is like, so that's where the album ends, which is like running into somebody that used to be involved with at a party and pretending like it's all cool.
So I swam through the sea of the sweat and the booze. Someone spilled something purple on one of my shoes. But if given the option, I'd swim right back through. I don't get many chances to stand next to you.
Even if you're both at peace, it's still like a weird, heavy thing, whether or not you want it to be.
When you said everything has been great, how about you? But I asked if you wanted to talk on the roof, then proceeded to listen to all of the proof. I proceeded to listen to all of the proof.
But I also wanted to end the album not on like a bitter note of any sort, like just to be like, yeah, this happens and we didn't work out, but like it was still a great time.
Eating 'cause I'm bored, not because I'm hungry. Eating 'cause I'm bored, not because I'm hungry. Eating 'cause I'm bored, not because I'm hungry. Eating 'cause I'm bored.